Welcome to People First Builders, the podcast spotlighting people who champion the well-being and happiness of others. I am your host, Julien Chabet, and today I'm welcoming Uwe Zell. Uwe is from Germany. Uwe, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for being here.
So we had a talk together on Lunch Club, which is a platform connecting people. And I find your story around the Bruderhof very inspiring. And that's the reason why I asked you for a podcast. But prior we go to this project and we explain the audience the nature of the project and how you contribute to people's well-being. Can you give us an overview of your journey prior to this project?
Yes, of course. I studied business IT in Ratisbon in Regensburg in Germany, and during this studies, I went to Australia where I met somebody from the Black Forest, and this is the reason why I actually popped up in the Black Forest. And then I worked for different corporates in different positions until 2012. In parallel, I did 2 master degrees beside my job, and had a very interesting last opportunity to work with an executive, a board member of a large bank, where I got insights into how it is working up there in the highest levels of the industry, and this made me thinking about, okay, how is this working? How is the world working? How is everything working? And is what we are seeing as humans, is it always what we should see, and what is real? And behind the scene there, you see a lot of things which is not as professional as we think. And this is why I started to think about also humans, about what is life, what is the purpose of life, what I'm doing in my business life, am I doing the right things? And I never stopped thinking about this since then.
So when did this thought process started?
It's actually started with my MBA program in 2010, when I did an MBA program in Mannheim and at the ESSEC Business School in France, in Paris. And I recognize diversity. So my classmates were from all over the globe. So from Canada, from Venezuela, from India, from Japan, from Africa. And then I started thinking, because they showed me that my typical German way, let's say, can be also different. So it's not always my way. I recognize it's which is good, which is the right way, but there are so many other ways to tackle topics or issues or projects, which I learned during this diversity sections in this program, and helped me to look at the world a little bit different.
Okay. Yeah, the access to diversity of perspective, not just your own. And I would say, I'm not sure if how is it for German people, but you have a quite strong vision and understanding of the world, right? It's quite well framed from a school, the way you've been educated and raised. Is it correct to say?
Yes, we have a clear picture of how the things should work. We have, and it's sometimes difficult to respect other opinions, other views on a challenge, and you need to learn that. And you learn that when you talk to people from India, for example. They prepare a deck completely different than a German is doing. And due to my experience with this board member, I had a clear view, okay, how to structure a deck. And then some Indians came and said, okay, we can do it like this way, much more playful and colorful. And I said, no, you cannot do that. And after this 2 years experience in the MBA program, I recognized, yes, you can do that as well. And it's not wrong or right. It's also an option. It's also a possibility how to present content during a project or during an MBA program.
Okay. So when you work with this executive in the banking world, was there any key findings, key understanding that really trigger a change in your mindset,
Mm,
or it
I
was
think
more diversity? Good.
yeah, it was diversity, but also I was thinking, okay, what the hell are we doing? Sometimes, or since 2017, I'm working in the regulatory space, and there's a lot of documentation. There's a lot of things where I'm thinking, okay, where is the added value? Where is the human behind? What are we doing, and why are we not challenging what we are doing? Which often happens when I'm talking to employees of the banks. Why are we not challenging what we are doing, and why we are taking what is given? And this is not only in the business world. This is for me also a question in the in a normal life. If somebody is telling me this is the right the way, then of course I can challenge it and can question it and say, okay, well, not sure. Explain me why this is the way, why this is the correct way, or the only way I should go. And I'm doing that also with my family, with my kids. I'm always challenging and challenging them and asking question to also not take everything which is written in a book, which is educated from the schools, which is educated from the universities, is taken as given, because
Okay.
it's not. There are different views. There are different ways to go, and there are different perspectives.
All right. So how this broadening of mindset connect with the beginning of your project, the Bruderhof?
Yeah. Yeah, I was working in many banks and large corporations, and they spend a lot of money into innovation, creativity. What they say it's innovation or creativity, and when you look a little bit deeper, then I thought, okay, well, this is not creativity, this is not innovation. It's just spending money in digital products and selling digital products as a innovation to someone, to the shareholders, to the market. And I was thinking, okay, we need a space, we need a different space, we need also a platform where we talk to each other, where we learn from each other, where we have some understanding of each other to be successful in the future. And when I looked at these projects, this innovation, creativity, or digitalizations projects in the industry, they were sitting in little rooms or in bigger rooms in an environment which was not inspiring at all. They went out of the room, the meeting room, after 5 or 6 or 7, and they didn't learn anything about the other stakeholders of such a project. And I believe um, successful projects, it's always teamwork, and you need to learn about the other, not only for the sake of business, but also for the sake of humankind, to collaborate. And this will be, or this is, from my perspective at least, a big success factor for, yeah, working together and also being creative. And when I saw this house in the Black Forest, I had the house which is built in 1679, so a very old building. And I said, okay, this is sustainable. This is a sustainable building. This is still there after 300, 400 years. And then I recognized also the environment, the nature, the air, the silence, and thought, okay, this is a place where you can get creative, where you can spend some days with others to yeah envision the future, to build up new products, to think about improvements, to also to strengthen the connection between the people, and go out then and improve the current situation and build somehow the future.
Okay, so you identified this really old farmhouse, and so how do you go into the project, right? So you've got the vision. You had the vision before buying it, or How does it work?
Not really. So I'm self-employed, or I'm on my own since 2012. As I said, I met a guy in Australia and Sydney in 2004 or five, who comes from this region, and this is the reason why I'm there again and again. And yeah, I loved, or I started to like and love the environment. And in 2017, this house was on the market, and it's and then I thought, okay, should I buy it or should I not buy it? What should I do? I was thinking always about real estate investments, but rather from an investment perspective. And then finally, the house was off market, and then it was on market and again. And then I said, okay, well, I take the risk and buy it. And then I started to think about, or without a plan, and started then to think about, okay, what to do with it. At the beginning, it was flats for normal flats. Then it was holiday flats or rooms. And then during I think 2 or 3 years and lots of discussions with other people, I came to this concept where I said, okay, I would like to provide a room, a space, a platform for companies, for projects, for collaborations, for scientists, for startups, where they can spend some time and think about, okay, how to work together in the future, how to work on the future, and how to improve the situation, always with a centric view on humans, because we humans, we build our systems, and we build the systems of the future. And if we are not working together properly and do not understand each other, then I think this is quite challenging for any company also to develop further and to be to be ready for the future, because the cycles are shrinking.
Okay, so you've got your idea and you share it with other people. How other people reacted?
Some of them actually, I would say many of them liked it, but many others as well said, okay, well, why are you doing that? And because it's a big risk, a financial risk I took, but it's also a big effort I spent by developing this idea and also rebuilding the house. And some people from the region, they had actually some ideas how to use the house. So they had some ideas about more generation house, co-working space, or something else. And then I said, okay, well, these are good ideas. These are socially good ideas, but who is paying for that? And once I asked them, okay, who are you paying for that? Then they stepped back some steps and said, no, I'm not able to pay that. Someone else has to pay that. And then I started to strengthen this idea. Okay, I would like to also set and trigger with this project for the entire region. Okay, you can do something if you like to do it. You can get support if you if you talk to the right people. And it's possible to move things, because this is most likely a very, very strong German attitude. We complain on the problems, but we are not taking action and trying to solve the problems.
Okay, and so how did you start the activity, right? So you've got all this mindset, this idea, this project. So you do the renovation, and so how do you start the activity? How do you get your first, basically, user or customers?
So I would say I'm an ambassador. I'm an ambassador of the entire region, of the south of the Black Forest. I talk to so many people. I talk to politicians. I talk to business people. I talk to investors. I talk to the banks. I talk to many people on this way, and this created somehow a momentum. So there is a momentum. Everybody knows basically this house. It's a specific story. Many people also support me with this story. but the key is really talk to the people and being authentic. When I'm talking to people, I at least showed 300, 400, 500 people already the house. I'm getting emotional and they feel it. This is something special. This is not like it's just business. It's something special, and they feel that there's more. There are some emotions. Is more behind than just rebuilding this house and renting it to companies. And this is also what they feel with my employees. My employees, they love the house, they love the story, they really identify themselves with this project, which helps me uh, which helps me to first get employees, which is in this rural area not as easy, but also to keep them motivated. They are doing things on their own, which I like. They are supporting me in optimizing the processes. They are having their own ideas and to improve the situations or improve the situations from our guests. And the guests are feeling that. They feel this humankind, this openness, this honest approach, this authentic way of treating them, and therefore they are coming back. So I have a lot of double bookers already, and I hope more and more are to come, because this should not be the end, at least of my journey and of the Bruderhof journey. I just had somebody from Switzerland who are doing the same thing, and we are thinking about to combine and bring both initiatives together and maybe build up more such rooms and spaces.
Yeah, it sounds okay. It sounds like a good idea to create a network once you have a working model. And so, what are the type of activities that you run now?
So it's retreats, so seminars, retreats, but also private group activities, birthdays. But basically, many companies are coming into the house, spending 2-3 days in the house with their sales team, with their operations team, with their marketing HR team, bringing sometimes their coaches. Sometimes we deliver coaches. We have a network of coaches, and we are serving them with homemade food. And then they spend some time in the house, but also outside the house. So they're going hiking, they're going walking. We are offering special services to them where they can also learn about the silence, the noises in these rural areas, the smell of the black forest, etc. And the feedback is quite positive.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good model where you basically have the user, right, the enterprise side, the employee side, but you can also provide coach across a number of topics or domain, right, basically. And
Yeah.
so, are you looking for more coach potentially, more people who have this capability of driving events?
Yeah. So I'm talking to coaches, to event managers, to companies. I'm also into this mountain bike development strategy workshop in the Black Forest because of the snow situation. In the Black Forest, you will not have snow in the future, or not very often snow. I'm looking for people who would like to join this. I call it Bruderhof journey. This is my Bruderhof journey. It's really a journey where I learned a lot of people, and a lot of interesting people. And you wouldn't recognize that there are so many interesting people in rural areas if you're not, yeah, being in this journey. And I'm always looking for interested, motivated people. And what happened as well is, especially during Corona, that managers, really senior managers of large corporations, they came to me and said, "Okay, I'm so fed up with this, what I'm doing in my corporations. Let's do something together." And also other people, they seeing the house, they reading the sign in front of the house, and then they're calling me and asking me, "Okay, well, how can I support? Can I support? Do you have options where I can support to make this even bigger?" And as I said, I had a person from Switzerland last week, not last week, 2 weeks ago, who was also inspired by the vision, by the history, by the story of the house, and by the house itself, but also by the region.
Hmm. And so, from a user perspective, the people basically coming in the house, what are the outcome that they reach? Is
I
it a
think
change in mindset? Is it a discovery of themselves? How to
I
say it from a user?
I think it depends on the retreat itself. So I think it's a change of mindset. So my vision is as well that they are going back in their homes, not just with technical content they learned maybe from a trainer, but maybe also with some change in mindset. So how they respect their colleagues, how they respect their partners in projects, but also how to respect silence, how to slow down, because you can really slow down. There's nothing, there is no noise. You just slow down. But also how to or the value of nature, the value of there's a little river, and the value of history and architecture as well, because they are in a house and in a house which is rebuilt after 300 400 years, and they should go back and maybe think when they are back in the city, well, should we continue like we do? Should we build new buildings everywhere? And the buildings, do they have any atmosphere or anything which gives me a little bit more than just a building? Or should we think of how can we use our resources, that maybe in the future we are or we can hand over a better future to our children, and they should really get more than just technical content. And the feedback we are giving is that we are getting is that there is more. They are getting home with more than just technical learned stuff. They are getting home with maybe a little bit different mindset. Of course, not everybody will change their life, uh, but if they start to think about little things, this is already an achievement, which I think is valuable.
Okay. I'm always interested how people gather feedback to measure impact. Do you have a way to measure feedback? Either
Uh,
from the people, either from the people booking the place or the people attending the events on the site?
yeah, we get testimonials, so we don't have to ask a lot. We just get the testimonials where they tell us that they had a unbelievable great time in this house, in this space, in this region. But we also get feedback from visitors showing the space. I'm even getting feedback, positive feedback from people who just saw the website and some pictures. And and also a good feedback is if they are booking again. So we have rebookers, and therefore this is positive feedback, because if they wouldn't like it, then they wouldn't rebook it. And finally, I think a feedback is as well that I'm working with large companies together, um, who are willing to work with me together, as I'm just a one or three man show, and they are really big. They are global players, and if they are interested in working with me, it's also a feedback. Okay, well, what you have done, what you have achieved, is not normal.
Mm. Okay.
And just set up in April a session regarding new work, future work with Vitra, which is a large company in Switzerland, and this gives me feedback. Okay, well, they are interested in that. They can identify themselves with the values I'm trying to transport, and to transfer during my sessions in the Bruderhof to
Okay.
themselves, and therefore I think this is also a very interesting and powerful feedback.
Okay. So, for the people who would identify a similar space and want to get started, right? Whether they have quite some money, as you may have, or they don't have money, what tips would you have for them? Because it's important to help them also to get started if we want to replicate similar models.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is that you have reliable partners. So I work with partners. They help me a lot. You need these professional partners with these old buildings. Otherwise, it's impossible to manage that. If you would like to do that on your own, you can do that. But I think there's a huge probability that you give up because it's complex. It's there's a lot of things what you need to consider, and you need a strong and reliable partner. And what I recognize is that I build up also a relationship with my partners. So it was not just the project manager who managed the entire construction site. He was at the end more like a friend, because he identified himself also with the project. And we came much closer together and had a good time. And this is again also a little component of what the house should be. Get a little bit closer together, work together, and then you can achieve a lot more than on your own. And
So reliable partner in regard to construction only?
no, not only construction. You have to. There are many stakeholders. So it's construction.
Okay.
It's I had a focus on also use craftsmen from the region. I talked to the politicians. I talked to the mayor. I talked to also to the authorities. And there are many stakeholders which you need to identify, and which you identify if you are taking this seriously, and then you need to talk to them. There was once a problem with the authorities where it was during Corona, where my project manager from the construction site sent only emails, and the authorities sent only emails back. And then I picked up the phone and called them, and the problem was solved. So it's always very important to talk to the people, not only sending emails or WhatsApp messages or whatever. You need to talk to the people, and then the problems could be usually solved.
Okay. All right. Any other advice?
Do it. So I think
Do it.
it doesn't have to be of such kind or of such size. But if you would like to do something, try to do it and start it, and find people who could support you. You will get always support if you talk to people, if you are really, if you stand really behind your idea and do it. And my what I could offer is, and what I'm offering as well, is if there's somebody who would like to start such a project, get in touch with me. I will tell you, okay, what I did, what I wouldn't do again, what I would do again, to whom I would talk to, and I will also support people who are thinking about such a concept, to support and to bring people really to execute, because this is what we need. We need to execute. Not only complain, we need to execute. It's a risk, but yeah.
It's rewarding anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Uwe. That's very inspiring. We'll leave your contact detail if anyone want to reach out, because I suspect that, there's a lot of building like that can be reused as a similar function to improve the well-being and happiness of the people.
Yeah. And I think even there's a huge demand, because people really looking for places like that where they can slow down a bit, where they can get into themselves, where they can have some special time. And during this difficult and challenging times, from a geopolitical perspective, but also from a technical perspective, if I think about AI and the speed the technology is taking over, I think the demand for such places is even bigger in the future. And I'm more than happy to build up networks, to build up a network even across borders, to see, okay, how can we join forces to make it even bigger and more sustainable and successful.
Perfect. So I really thank you for your time. It's It's really a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you feel like reaching out to Uwe Zell, feel free to do so. He has a lot of experience. He's also advising people on how to get started, right? Now, if you know other people who champion the well-being and happiness of others, meaning people who have built or operate products or services, solutions that have a positive impact on the well-being and happiness of other people, then feel free to let me know, reach out to me. I'd love to have them on the podcast. Thank you.